All right, what's up, everybody? This is Zacharias. We're back with more of Avadon, the Black Fortress. So let's go ahead and continue here. Your body reforms next to a stone pylon. You spend a few minutes on your knees, hunched over and gagging, as you recover from the effects of being magically flung across Linnaeus. You hope that this gets less painful with experience. You doubt it. Eventually, you rise to your feet. The pylon is behind you, ready for use. Use the pylon to rest and recover your vitality. You will then have the option to return to Avadon. Okay, so that is very convenient as an option there. So that's there if we need it. But yeah, we're finally getting started on our main mission here after so much filler in the first part. But again, it's a factor of me wanting to explore all I can. You stumble out into the hot sun. After the cool and darkness of Avadon, the hot, dry air of the deserts of the Cava immediately starts to wear you down. Sweat rolls down your face and grit starts to work its way into your armor. The ground is arid and dusty. The only plant life visible nearby is in the form of huge thickets of cactus bearing vicious thorns. The dragon Zethron picked a home truly inhospitable to humans. When you emerge, someone shouts to you. A woman is waiting for you by the path to the north. A middle-aged woman of the Cava approaches you. The skin of her hands and face looks like dark leather, the result of many years out in the desert. She approaches you with great calm and confidence. Since you are a hand of Avadon, this level of fearlessness means that she is either a fool or a fellow servant of the Black Fortress. It is the latter. She nods to you. Welcome, hand. I am Tamaria, Watcher of the Pylon. I am here to guide you in whatever mission you are undertaking. I can provide precious information before you set out, and since so few have come from Avadon of late, I have plenty of time to spare. I could use information. She nods. I would be happy to help. What do you need to know? Tell me about the town. She looks at the town to the northeast. That is Goldcrag, a small town out in the wilds of the desert. It would be of minimal importance to the pact if it weren't for the fact that there are dragons nearby. There are pest problems, of course. Mainly wretches. How do the dragons affect the town? They don't attack, if that is what you are wondering. This is where visitors stay and get food on the way to see Zethron and ask for help. Without those travelers, nobody would ever have heard of Goldcrag. Why is it called Goldcrag? There used to be mines here. There are still a few out there, but most of them were played out before the Black Age. How will they treat me here? She laughs. They are good, loyal servants of the pact. The leader there is Overseer Levant, and your main problem will be getting him to stop offering you assistance. Good and servile, as Redbeard likes it. Tell me about the wretches. The wretch lands are to the west. It is one of the far lands where we allow wretches to live without interference, but they often emerge and cause trouble elsewhere, and then they must be dealt with. Usually it is soldiers that hunt them down. When someone begins to lead and organize and equip the wretches, however, Avadon must be involved. I am looking for a mage named Angevine. Ah, a quiet and mysterious figure. Seems friendly enough, though. Her tower is in the lands east of Zethron's lair. I'm looking for a trader named Tartam. Her eyebrows shoot up. Tartam? You are... interesting. Follow the road to the west. He lives on the river near Zethron's Eyrie. I should not say more about him. He will speak for himself. Tamaria walks around in front of her home, tending to her crop. You notice that her eyes flick constantly to the north, watching the town and the road that leads to the area of the dragon. Do you need more assistance? I need supplies. And you want them from me. I am no quartermaster. You should travel into Goldcrag. Merchants there will give you a fair deal. They know how dangerous it would be to do otherwise. Can't I just take what I want? She shakes her head. It would be unwise. The job of Avadon is to make the pact more stable. Looting and theft will invite rebellion and thus anger Redbeard. So I would behave. How long have you been here? I have been stationed here for many a year. She looks around at the parched land and the vicious thickets of cactus. It is Redbeard's pleasure that I serve in my homeland. Is this where you wanted to be stationed? She smiles wryly. Why would anyone choose to expend their short lives anywhere else? I may have been on the wrong end of a political disagreement before I was sent here, but I'm sure that was not involved. But this is where Redbeard sent me, and this is where I will serve. What do you do besides assist hands? I watch. I gather information. I carry messages directly from the dragons to Redbeard and back. It is the work of the eyes. Are you from the Cava? I am. A more pleasant part of it. Most of the Cava is not so arid. Some areas even have plants that aren't cacti. Okay, so we're in her home now, it looks like. It's definitely a lot larger on the inside than it looks like on the out. Book is about Wretchlands. There are two sorts of humanoids residing in the remote areas of Linnaeus. There are the Titans, tall, strong, proud, and cunning, and the Wretches, who are in all ways the opposite. Wretches are small humanoids, 5 foot tall at the most, and all of it wiry muscle. They are usually simple, dirty creatures, content to breed rapidly, eat, and spread into any unoccupied space they can reach. And when anyone tries to dislodge them, they can grow very violent. Of course, Wretches are not evil. When you think about it, they are not that different from humans, except for stature and frequency of bathing. The Pact has never tried to eradicate them, only drive them out of its territory. Thus, the Wretchlands exist, a rocky, unpleasant southern peninsula which has been set aside as a refuge for these creatures. There they form tribes, grow scraggly crops, and form a much wilder version of the wild realm. They have a mind-boggling array of alliances and grudges, and they spend much of their time avoiding hungry dragons and wandering titans. But no force in the world can keep the Wretches in the Wretchlands. Small tribes of them are always slipping out, looking for fertile lands or spacious sewers to settle into. Wretches are too small and disorganized to ever pose a threat to the Pact. Or, at least, that is what is generally believed. But, should the Midlands Pact ever weaken, a flood of small, savage immigrants will be soon to follow. Okay, so nothing we need here. Bag of meal no longer has any sort of value, so we'll just move on. Well, coins are always valuable. We can take coins. Put some pants on him, even though he's wearing like some sort of armor already, but it is what it is. Oh, by the way, I should go ahead and split my supplies amongst my group here. Shift click to stacking items up. So we'll do a potion of health for each individual one. Since I have Shima with me and he's good with lockpicks, we should go ahead and give these to him too. I don't want to use up my let's give one of each to them. The good thing is that we can arrange their inventories how you see fit. Alright. Need 12 lockpicks. What the heck? Okay, whatever. At least we got some coins out of it. Ooh, 832 coins. I just saw that. Alright, let's explore the outside here and then we can go in somewhere. I'm mainly just trying to find the edges of the map here. Okay, so I can't wear that steel helm yet, but I will equip it when I can. As you start to walk down the long road to the lair of Zethron, you realize I haven't visited Goldcrag. It's a small town, but it might be a good source for supplies and profitable work. It's back to the east. Okay. Sign says Pack Free Road, Goldcrag East, Dragon's Eyrie West. Alright, so let's go to Goldcrag then. You enter the town of Goldcrag. It is not a large settlement. There are a meeting hall and barracks in the center of the town. You can see shops and an inn to the north and a few quiet buildings to the south. Normally, in this remote, arid land, you would only find small clusters of nomads. However, the people who come out here to see the dragon and try to purchase it say need a place to sleep and get supplies for the journey back. When you enter, the few people out in the hot sun nearby look very nervous. The presence of a hand at Avadon always causes fear. Everyone wonders what they have done wrong recently and how much you know about it. And Avadon does all it can to encourage that paranoia. You're approached by an elderly man of the Cava. His robes are long, brightly colored, and immaculate, though they are rapidly picking up dust from the road. He must not come outside much. For you, however, he made an exception. He greets you with a broad, fake smile. Envoy from Avadon. A hand, if I guess correctly. We are most honored and pleased to meet you in our humble town. I'm Overseer Levent, and I wanted to greet you personally here before the stone. Welcome to Goldcrag. Anything we can do for you, we will. Sweat begins to bead on his forehead. He glanced briefly at the city hall, clearly eager to return to his shelter. I'm here to see the dragon Zethron. He nods. I have heard that the mighty dragon is dissatisfied. Wretches, yes, such pests. We have had increased difficulties with them lately. Why haven't you done more to rid yourself of them? Levent's smile remains, but his eyes grow very cold. We do what we can, but my humble town cannot restrain all the wretched lands without aid. Aid which has not come. What else would you like to know about? I want to know more about Goldcrag. A modest town, as you can see, in a harsh part of the Cava. We have little land that can be farmed. And yet, thanks to the dragons, we have value for the pact and for travelers. And thus, honor has been given to us. How many dragons are near here? One currently. Zethron. Sometimes there are more. They move around, they come here when they have the urge to grow their hordes, so that the sages and leaders of the pack can bribe them. You don't fear the dragons? We do not. Goldcrag is part of the pact. If the dragons attacked us, they would attack all the pact. They are not foolish enough to want war. However, it was not always us. Once the dragons hunted at will. These are better days. What honor have you received? Because of our increasing wealth and the attention Avadon has given us, the leaders of the Cava have bestowed upon us our own copy of the Stone Code. It is just outside the city hall. This marks us as a town of importance and prestige. Small villages are not so honored. You are an overseer? He nods and brushes some dust off his sleeve. It is the title of one who leads a village or small town. I was appointed to direct affairs and to make judgments of law. I am interpreter of the Stone Code, both master and servant. How did you come to be an overseer? I was chosen by our king and approved by his council. It was a true honor. How long will you stay in this post? Until my masters think my services are better used elsewhere, or until I draw the anger of Avadon or Hanvar's council, or until I myself break the laws of the Stone Code and must be removed. So you are the judge here. Yes, I have memorized all the code, both the words on the stones and the expanded version on the scrolls in this hall. Pass judgment and declare punishments. You may have seen the stocks in the place of execution. The law is harsh, but it is fixed. All know what is expected of them, even me. I haven't seen enough of your laws to say. A diplomatic response. I hope you become more familiar with them. When you are in our lands, you should obey them, even though you serve Avadon. But what else would you like to know? I require assistance. He nods, but he is slightly nervous. Of course, Avadon may request whatever it wishes. What do you need? I need soldiers to help me hunt the humanoids in the wild. If we had the soldiers to spare, we would have hunted those pests already. But our town is small and poor, depending on the coppers spent by pilgrims and officials passing through. We have no army to put at your disposal. But if I ever get an army, I will put it at your disposal with enthusiasm. I need information. I could tell you much, but you would be better served by speaking to Itamaria, near where you arrived. She knows all I do, and more. I need supplies. Then talk to our merchants. They will be eager to help you. They can be found in the north end of town. I will speak with them. Of course, I hope they have something to your liking. Do you need anything else? I think you're free to go now. There are 4 black stones set upright in the middle of Goldcrag. Closer inspection reveals that they are covered with dense writing. Townsfolk circle them, reading the writing and making notes of it. Those who are illiterate ask those who can read for help. These stones bear the core of the Stone Code, the law that governs life in the Cava. They are traditionally set here so that all can see them. Okay, I'm pretty sure these are just townspeople here, so I don't have to talk to a whole bunch. Shima seems lost in thought. Something about the nearby stones seems to have shaken him. Xander, the way of Hoklanda is one of honor, and that is something in here. He pats himself on the chest. But there is something I am wondering. Yes? Each nation needs a way to control the people, so they do not rob or kill or run wild. Without control, we are no different from wretches. But does that control best come from a sense of honor or from a set of laws? I trust and honor in teaching the young to do right. Shima nods. That is right. That is wise. The people of Hoklanda feel much the same. Thank you, Xander. I feel more at peace. Okay, so yeah, one cool thing that Jeff did, I don't know if I've said this in the past video already, I can't remember if I did or not, but yeah, your player character, the companions that you bring, the NPCs you bring, actually do have special unique dialogue that triggers whenever you're in certain scenarios, and each one has their own like different dialogue, which is really cool. I kind of wish that was more robust in games like Avernum, but I can understand why it isn't. You sort of just had to make up your own like dialogue yourself in Avernum if you really felt like role playing to a T. But yeah, it is really cool that Jeff gave the NPCs that you take along with you their own dialogue and stuff like that. There are several people here hacking back the thicket of cacti. They wear heavy gloves and crude cloth mask over their faces. With slow, methodical blows, they chop loose the cacti and carry them back to the fire to burn them. The smoke that pours from the flame is black and foul. It's a miserable job, but it probably beats having Goldcrag be overthrown. You have to be able to maintain something, right? Fortunately, we don't have to do any of that yard work as a servant of Avadon. This courtyard has several sets of stocks, set here to punish those who run afoul of the Stone Code. 2 of them are occupied, and what little rotten fruit the village can spare has been used to pelt them. Fines in the stocks are only 2 of the possible punishments called for by the Stone Code. Shunning, branding, amputation, and execution are also covered. Shima frowns. They must have done something very serious to have their dignity stripped away. This sort of thing should be kept private. There are 2 people in the stocks, painfully bent over and roasting in the hot sun. When you get close, they turn away, partly from shame and partly because if they talk during their punishment, it might be extended. From here, you can see the fields east of Goldcrag. There is a small oasis and nearby a few patches of arable land. There are enough crops grown here to feed a small village, though Goldcrag is large enough to need to bring a lot of food from outside. The thickets of cacti are constantly growing, and the town must wage a constant war to hack them back. The smell of burning cactus is constant. The smoke makes your skin itch and your eyes water. Oof, I can only imagine how tough that would be. Okay, so this is one exit here. I just want to go to the edge of things right now, so there are several farmers working in the fields, trying to bring a meager amount of food out of the harsh soil. If it wasn't for the nearby oasis, there would be no hope. They are hardy people of the southern Cava. The heat hardly seems to affect them. However, your presence makes them very nervous. They don't want to talk to you. Okay, we are going a bit too far right now, so let's head back to where we were and do some more exploring in here. Then we can do some more exploring of Goldcrag. How come Nathalie is like fastest one so far? The customers in the center are a motley bunch of caravan guards, merchants, and people of influence who seek to see the dragon. They stay in the shadows, drink lots of liquids, and do their best to keep a hand at Avadon from hearing any of their business. Okay, I don't want to necessarily come down here, but go ahead and explore it anyway. Oh, at least we get some combat out of it. Okay. Since Shima is more dexterity based, we'll do this instead. Even though he can wield a sword and all that. Alright, don't have enough lockpicks. Need 2. Okay, I'm not going to steal in front of anybody, so. The customers in the center are... Oh. I already knew that, though. This man is sitting in the shadows in the back room of the inn, sipping water from a wooden bowl. A half-eaten loaf of bread sits on a nearby table. Its leather clothes and bone pendants mark him as from the wild realm. He's come a long way. He looks up at you and says, "Greetings." You ask his name. Alphonse. You ask him if you can sit. He says, simply, "I wish to be alone. Can we talk? I prefer solitude. I mean no offense. Please leave me." There's nothing to say to that. You leave him alone. Nathalie looks around the inn, but she seems disappointed. Inns are normally a fine place to find work for hire, but this does not look promising. Still, we might ask around. There is a Hochlandan mage sitting at this long table, sipping a goblet of wine and reading a scroll. When you get close, she inspects you. Lacking an obvious reason to dismiss you, she motions for you to sit. "I am Seeker Azarni," she says. "Normally, I prefer solitude on my journey, but it is always wise to curry favor with hands when you have the chance. You are from Hochlanda?" "I am." "Sip. How was the journey?" "Long. Many miles on free roads. At one point, I had to use my talents to burn away some attacking wretches foolish enough to try to rob us." "Why did you come?" "The dragon. There is no other possible reason to come here." "What are you reading?" "Magical formulae that are, I am sure, of no interest or value to you." Seeker Azarni sips her wine and reads her scroll. She occasionally looks up at you and gives a little nod. She doesn't mind your presence, but she's not much for conversation. "Have you come to see the dragon?" "I have. I will join a caravan to Zethron's Eyrie soon. I will ask the dragon for help." "Will the dragon help you?" "If the wealth I offer is sufficient. Dragons are creatures of pure avarice. Only 2 things ever drive them to act: fear and greed, and the only thing they fear is full enmity of the pact. What are you trying to learn? She frowns. That is an impolite question. None ever reveal why they seek the dragon unless they have to. To do so would remove some of the advantage gained. Azarni has no interest in talking to you right now. A few more weeks in this wasteland might make her more willing to talk. I would like to know more of Hoklanda. She looks at Shima and curls her lip in distaste. Ask him. I'm sure the banished one can tell you all you need to know. Shima remains completely expressionless. Yes, some of us pay close attention to who of our land joins with Avadon. I know of you, all that I wish to. Okay, that was interesting. The Sin is surprisingly luxurious for its location, far out in the wilds of the Cava. The travelers who go to visit the dragon must demand quality accommodations. The bar is being tended by a young woman who is wiping out pewter mugs with a mostly clean towel. She nods to you. Welcome, Hand of Avadon. I am Meath. And this is our inn. Can I get a room? I am sorry, but they are all full, even the common room. It is because of the troubles. Return to the arrival pylon to rest. Your vitality will be restored when you use it. Troubles? With the wretches. Merchants and travelers wait here for longer so that they can band into larger groups before they travel. Meath wipes out mugs and fills orders for ale. The inn has several varieties on tap, most of them expensively imported from greener climes. Can I help you? I could use a drink. Meath has a variety of quality wines and beers available. Okay. Have you heard any rumors? She suddenly appears rather cagey. Oh, I hear many things. It's so hard to tell what might be useful. Well, tell me something you think might be helpful. She thinks, I overheard someone recently who had just returned from the dragon's cave. He said that a shadowy human was hiding in the thickets. Didn't get a good look. The fellow looked him over and ran off. Might be a bandit. You should watch out if you head out there. Okay, duly noted then. Ooh. Again, I would prefer not to steal unless it's like coins. Although, yeah, I can't steal if he's just standing right there, though. You meet the blacksmith of Goldcrag. He is a massively built, swarthy man, and a set of tools hangs from his belt. He is tending to his shop right now, not his forge. You can understand his not wanting to be hammering red-hot metal in this heat. He shakes your hand. Welcome, Hand of Avadon. I am Barak. I am more than happy to supply your kind. I have been doing it for years. Who is tending to your forge? Nobody right now. I can do work in the hot sun, but I prefer to labor at the forge in twilight or early morning. In midday, I trade the goods I have made. You deal with people from Avadon frequently? I help the hands with their equipment. Also caravan guards and the warriors who come to meet the dragon. I also make equipment for the farmers, what few there are, and all my work changed when the dragon came. I also hire the hands for help, when they would accept missions from one as humble as me. How long has the dragon been here? Zethron first flew to his eyrie nearby about 20 years ago. His presence has changed the lives of all here, much for the better. This was a poor place before the dragon came. How many hands been here recently? He looks nervous. Several have been through here recently, going to calm the humanoids on the borders. You can make arms and armor? Once I couldn't, but I learned quickly. I can't match the masters of Duram and Hoklanda, but I can maintain the weapons of the guards who escort the caravans out here. You hire hands to help you? Many hands are willing to aid humble citizens of the pact. In return for pay, of course. Some have a problem with that. I would never question the ways of Avadon. I have lost a caravan on my own, which was carrying my goods to Zethron's eyrie. I want to recover it, or for as much as I can. If you can find it for me, I will pay a bounty from my wares. Tell me about the attack. There were wretches led by an ogre. The attack happened on the road just south of the entrance to the dragon's lair. None of the guards were killed. The creatures were let go once all my goods were taken. I will not ever presume to question the way of Avadon, but I hope that Keeper Redbeard is aware that wretched brigands are attacking caravans on the free roads of the pact. Where should I look for the goods? The goods within it were heavy, so it may take some time for the creatures who stole them to spirit them away. They may still be near where the caravan was taken, southeast of Zethron's cave. More than that, I can't say. Barak says, is there anything else I can do to help you, Honored Hand? I have a good supply of arms and armor. I would like to trade with you. Of course, I can sell you my humble crafts and I can purchase equipment you recover in your travels. All my prices are, I think you will find, very fair. It is interesting that Jeff put an option to demand items, but at the same time, I think it's pretty clear we're going to have to just buy stuff anyway. Well, that seems fair. He nods. Let me know when I can show you what I have. Something I want to sell. Let me see your wares. Barak is not an accomplished crafter of arms and armor. His wares are lower quality than you are used to. He is helped out here in the wilds by the lack of competition. Some of this is actually good stuff, but I think we have a good armor right now. Yeah, I probably wouldn't worry too much about buying stuff, honestly. That is all I need. I was honored to have you in my store. Good day. You met a smith named Barak in Goldcrag. He recently lost a caravan of valuable goods. They were stolen south of the gate to Zethron's Eyrie. Investigate the area around the lost caravan and see if you can find lost goods. Barak will pay if you can find them. Okay. So at least we have a quest we can do. There are a number of merchants here, with some local, some who have just come in with caravans. They are haggling fiercely over the goods that have been brought in to support the colonies out here. A lot of activity, all because of the presence of the dragon. None of the goods are helpful for your adventuring lifestyle. The merchants see that you aren't a customer and ignore you. There is an archer of the cave sitting at this desk, reviewing reports of wretched sightings and shaking her head. She wears the insignia of a monitor on her shoulder. She must have a fair amount of influence in this remote land. She rises to shake your hand. Heard a new hand was here. I am Monitor Cybele of Goldcrag. I knew when fresh faces arrived from Avadon that my Lance's cash box would be looted soon enough. She laughs, not unkindly. A lot of trouble with wretches? She nods. You leave town, you will see. They have been coming out of the Wretchlands and coming. Suspicious, but nothing my Lance can't handle. You are a monitor? She pats her insignia proudly. Commanded the Lance here for 3 years. 3 good years. Heads of lots of wretches and brigands on pikes. Enough to justify putting a Lance in this small town. She looks at her bow sadly, though I do miss getting out there in the thickets. What is a Lance? In the army of the pack, 10 warriors is a blade, led by a watcher. 10 blades is a lance, led by a monitor. That puts 100 trained, bloodthirsty killers under my command, plus support staff, mounts, and so on. You spent a lot of time out on patrol? Years. She rolls up her sleeve and shows you an arm covered with a dense web of long, pale scars. From chasing the enemy through the cactus fields, every warrior of the Cava gets like this in time. She rolls her sleeve back down. We call it earning our marks, a point of pride with us. Why are so many soldiers here? The dragon and the wretches are enough to justify it. We have to control this area, part of our debt to the pact. Your debt? Anvar's council expects every nation in the pact to keep a vanguard ready at all times. That's 10,000 soldiers ready to move at a moment's notice. The pact protects us, and in return, we have a debt. And the Cava pays its debt. Monitor Cybele says, anything else you need before I get back to this mess? She jabs at the piles of incident reports with distaste. Do you have many dealings with Hands of Avadon? The Hands, yes, because they always have their hands out. She laughs. Just a little joke, no offense intended. There are always lots of things we need done, brigands we need hunted, and we sometimes ask hands to do it. And there is always a fee. You pay us for our help. That is the old way. Anything you do for us instead of Redbeard, we have to pay. Always been that way. Some resent it, some that say that you can only get justice if you pay. I'm alright with it, though. Just the way of the world. It might have some work for me. With the wretches and worse coming out of the thickets, we need the help, and we can't afford it. Check in with me from time to time. I have work, and I pay my debts. Is there anything I can do for you? Most of my soldiers are on patrol now, watching for the wretches that haunt us. That has kept us from dealing with other problems, like the packs of wolves that are harassing the farms and the lands to the west. A new pack stalks the road between here and Zethron's Eyrie. They are a vicious breed with long fangs and red-tinged fur. Kill 8 of these wolves, and I will reward you from our coffers. Where can I find these wolves? Take the road west to Zethron's Eyrie. When you approach the dragon's lair, hunt along the road and thickets near it. The bloodthirsty creatures will locate you soon enough. Monitor Cybele is the superior to the remote soldier to the soldiers of Goldcrag. The remote town has been hounded by increasing numbers of wild and dangerous wolves. There are packs of wolves with red-tinged fur on the road between Goldcrag and Zethron's lair. Kill 8 of these fierce creatures and Cybele will pay you a bounty. Duly noted. Yeah, I'm definitely not overly concerned about like stealing stuff, even if it is for extra money. And in Vernum, I was a bit more wilder with it, but I was like, nah, let's try to earn it on my own. Unless it is coins, I can just take. You just got to be careful how we spend. Okay, let's stay in here. The sign says, Field of Justice, no shouting, no sailing, north benches for family of the punished. Meeting Hall of Goldcrag. Oh, that's just a town, man. I was like, that person we need to talk to. Okay, so he just has the same dialogue as before, in case we need him. Cave of Scribes. Okay, so we know, at least we know where to find Levent in case we need him. Silo, keep out. There's nobody in here, so we'll just take it. Okay, well, at least you all will see some combat in this part of the video. I mean, you did earlier because I was also killing Rat's hair. Okay, I'm not going to trigger the trap then. My skill's not high enough. Okay, so it looks like we found the edge of Goldcrag, pretty much. Oops. Sorry. Sorry, friend. I did not mean to interrupt you there. Okay, at least he doesn't do like a significant amount of damage here. That would be very bad if he could. Ah. Okay, I already got a good sword, so let's see if he can. Yeah, he can. I think I'm going to primarily use Shima's Razor Disc as a weapon, though, rather than sword, to be honest, unless I need a melee. But dexterity is where he's going to have the best, like, advantage. Yeah, you got some pretty big towns and areas, so for all you can. Dang, we have a bunch of rats here. What abilities does Shima have? Okay, nothing that he can use right now, but let's make sure he yeah, that war cry is pretty effective. All right, she can't do lightning wind right now. We'll just attack. Now level it up, sweet. All right, let's go ahead and level up his dexterity again. Points to increase. Yeah, honestly, I feel like this side might actually be better than the other side. You know, so I kind of regret putting a point to that. Although later on in the game, there is somebody who will allow you to retrain your ability, so that is a good thing. I mean, that won't come until later, but so I'm just gonna have to just stick with that in the meantime. But yeah, we'll make sure we take that off and retrain, because I think I do like this side for the Shadow Walker. Please tell me he can put on a shield at least. Heck, nabbit. Okay, so more rats, of course. Okay, so at least we get to fight some rats and stuff like that, even though... Again, nothing wrong with going up, gathering XP and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch back and forth between actually, you know what, now that I think about it, I probably should set Xander, who is range 2, start off with, and when people get close, then he can melee and tank. But I think having his bow on and having Shima's Razor Disc on is a good thing. Because that allows me to do damage to enemies pretty early. I mean, I could just avoid these rats, but at the same time, it's just... It's still just pretty fun to just kill them anyway for XP. Switch back to the default. Ooh, more coins. Can he wear steel bracer? Dang, I need to increase his strength because can't wear much armor right now because of that. Make sure they stay away from Nathalie. Also, similar to a Vernum, the bow has unlimited ammo, so we don't have to worry about getting ammo and stuff like that. Although, thrown missiles were very sparse in a Vernum, so you did have to gather a lot of ammo if you really wanted to make use of that, and that ultimately wasn't worth it. But in this one, the Razor Disc are also unlimited, so that's why it's fine to just stick with the Shima's Razor Disc rather than his sword. When you get back here, I want to kill you. I want the XP. Alright, did I search this nest thing? With that dagger. Steel dagger. Don't really need a steel dagger, but we can sell it. Yeah, I think we explored all the little pit here of rats. Because as a reminder, you never have to rush a game like this. You can always take your time, explore everything, get as much XP as you can. Stuff like that. I like how me and my companions can get all over the place sometimes, though. Okay, that's just a cave of farmer. Yeah, in case it wasn't clear already, the towns are definitely pretty big. What's taking so long for my companions to get up here? Ooh, somebody to talk to. There is a merchant sitting by the small cook fire, fanning herself with the torn piece of parchment and eating lunch. Her face has been tanned by the scorching sun of the Cava Desert, but she is not from around here. She nods as you approach and motions for you to sit. Welcome, Han. I am Marmara of Duram. I have only just arrived with a new shipment of goods. I would be happy to give you the first choice from them. What brings your caravan here? She laughs. Money. Power and influence follows the dragon, and they bring money with them. So I bring fine luxury goods out here to the middle of this wasteland. What sorts of things do you sell? Fine wines and ales, fashionable clothes, and weapons to protect them from wretches and ogres for the journey home. What did they ask the dragon for? She laughs. What could a wise, immortal, and vulnerable fire-breathing beast do for someone? I think you can puzzle that out for yourself. Marmara is still sitting by the fire fanning herself. I should get in from the sun, I suppose, but I find I like it. It is cool and windy in Duram so much of the time. You don't mind the heat? Not yet, though it will wear upon us soon enough. The cactus fields are worse. I'm amazed that it still hasn't overgrown this miserable town. There is a lot of cactus. Yes, it's vicious stuff. When a cow gets stuck in it, you need to put armor on to retrieve it. Goldcrag could be overgrown if they don't keep cutting it back, but they won't get rid of it because it protects the town. That is the way of the southern Cava. They have a name for the cactus. They call it the Cruel Shelter. That is the truth. I can trade with you. Of course, I have dealt with hands many times in the past. A new blade or a fashionable rope for a state dinner? I can help, and for a fair price. I appreciate the help. She nods. Let me know when you want to trade. I want to trade with you. Of course, I can sell what I have and buy what I need. Okay, let's buy a couple more lockpicks then. And we'll come back if we need, like, potions and stuff like that, but I don't need anything else. Alright, safe travels to you. She returns to her stew. Dang, there are a lot of people out here. I'm definitely not going to have time in this whole video to cover everyone, it looks like. I thought for sure I would be done with the sound. I forgot how pretty loaded this game is, actually. But I don't mind it either. You hear a rustling sound in the cacti to the north, followed by a hissing. One of the nearby farmers instantly recognizes the sound. Lizards! Run! As she turns to flee, several huge lizards start to emerge from the thicket. If nothing is done, they might cause some serious injuries, or worse. Oh, well, whatever. We'll take care of them. Alright, at least Napoli leveled up. Alright, let's level her up then. We'll put more into intelligence. Let's do this. Alright, so yeah, like I said, I'm still not going to be able to... Alright, well, let's at least unlock this part of the map and then I can move on here, because good lord, like I said, there is a lot to cover in this game. I'm definitely not going to do this all in one part. Okay, so I think I will just call it for this part, but I will see you all very soon with the next.